I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slaves will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream one day.
The Earth Lab is a 4-acre outdoor science classroom that services the Lincoln cluster of schools in Southeast San Diego. And our vision for Earth Lab education is to expose children to nature and open spaces. So when we bring students out here, they're able to become accustomed and more comfortable with an open environment, and such then instill a sense of stewardship and environmental stewardship in them. So they're learning how to do science outside, hands-on, interactive, as opposed to stagnant and static in the classroom and in the textbook. They're out here doing experiments and exploring and investigating, and hopefully instilling a love for science and STEAM in general, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Whether it's science or not, a lot of our children that do not perform well in the traditional classroom environment excel out here at the Earth Lab.
The whole concept here is that we're bringing things outside the classroom into the classroom. So if you're outside the classroom, we don't usually refer to ourselves as students. If I go to a play, I'm a theater goer. If I act in a play, I'm a thespian. If I'm at the Earth Lab and I'm being a scientist, I'm a scientist. And when I say to these kids that real scientists are going to look at their work, they are, and there's something powerful about that.
There's a very unfortunate but very real social and educational fact in the United States, and that is that students who grow up in low-income neighborhoods or attend schools in low-income neighborhoods do not achieve as well as their contemporaries who live in more well-to-do communities. DEEP is a very powerful organization, especially because it has brought together individuals from the community and organizations from the community in connection with UC San Diego and San Diego State and USD University colleagues. It's a true partnership here. With that in mind, the DEEP people said we're going to concentrate on trying to bring children from this neighborhood up to grade level by the end of their 3rd grade.
Groundwork is a nonprofit environmental organization. We're managers of the Choice Creek watershed, which runs from La Mesa to the San Diego Bay. Our piece in that is to really restore it to a once community-oriented place of play and uses by our residents. It's no longer that because it's been neglected. We are educating our community through our youth, starting with them, on what happens when you put trash and garbage in the creek, where it comes out to the San Diego Bay, affecting the animals that might be in the bay as well, and humans. We can't utilize it, play in it, and enjoy it because we're a community that has not really put environment first, mainly based on resources. And so as a result, we have a huge education center. You heard a lot, I'm sure, about the Earth Lab.
I could help the environment by learning more about it.
I just learned how amazing these minds of the kids are. You just read through their journals and see their drawings, their hypotheses, their claims, their solutions, and it's just really interesting because some of these kids think way outside the box.
It's a paper airplane part.
And what kind of power does it use?
It uses wind power.
Well, there was this one child who was somewhat of a troublemaker, always got himself in trouble and had a hard time sitting still, and towards the end he wanted to be an engineer, looking at how you could further sustainable sustainable cars or having cars that would be driven on a more sustainable manner.
I can positively impact the environment by driving electric cars.
One day, this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slaves will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream. One day.
We have engaged the engineering students at UCSD to come up with these prototypes and how they can be used to develop curriculum. They've produced the algae pond prototype, they've produced the energy house prototype. It is something that the teachers can come in and within the context of a larger exhibit, create an experience for the kids that ties it directly to what they learned this week or last week in the classroom. So the experimentation is not fixed. It is going to be very dynamic and determined by the teachers in terms of what they want to teach.
We learn all about how we could change our environment and save it and how so the animals don't die. And we're even learning how people positively and negatively impact the environment.
The one thing that comes to mind for me, again, as an elder, and that's big for someone who's grown up in this community who didn't have these opportunities growing up, but is so delighted to be a part of seeing them happen for our young people. We are a community that is in need of some cohesiveness, and you know, we're rich in people and rich in ideas, and we're a curious community, but we don't always play out that way. The message doesn't always come forward. And the message that comes forward oftentimes is a negative one. It's more of the trouble that occurs rather than the successes. And to have an opportunity to have something that we can stand behind no matter what, that we can support, that we can, if we had to defend it no matter what, because our hearts are pure and we know we're going in the right direction. We have something like that. I understand that no matter what's going on in the world, we have something here that's going to make a change. It already is. It will continue to make more of a change, and that is joy. That's joy.